Hello everybody, welcome to day 18 of Vegan June, and so here's what I had to eat yesterday. For breakfast I made a raspberry smoothie bowl. I started by adding half a cup of almond milk, half a cup of oats, 1 banana and half a cup of raspberries into my food processor, and then I blended them up. The results are like a thick yogurty smoothie or unset overnight oats, and I just placed that in a bowl, and then I took a Berry Delight naked bar and crumbled that on top. I then added on some desiccated coconut, some chia seeds, a few more raspberries, some goji berries and some fresh mint leaves. This was so good, one of the best breakfasts I've had in a while, and I honestly ate it all so quickly. It gave me so much energy, and the flavours of the raspberry and the mint together were delicious. It was so refreshing and I love the texture of the smoothie. Again, it's something you can put in a jar and take to work with you and add on whichever toppings you like. I made the quickest mid-morning snack by halving some cherry tomatoes and then topping them with some hummus and some herby green olives. So simple but so good. You could top them with guacamole instead of the hummus, basil leaves, thyme leaves, dill or parsley instead of the olives. You can totally recreate this in so many different ways. For lunch I had a bowl of fried rice. I started by finely chopping 1 white onion, 1 peeled carrot and 2 spring onions. I then added the white onion to a pan with a little olive oil and cooked them off until they were brown. I next minced in 2 cloves of garlic and cooked that off for around a minute. Then added in the carrots and the majority of the green onions. I then added in a good splash of tamari, half a teaspoon of Chinese spice and some extra brown rice that I'd cooked up for the risotto that I'd made the night before. I cooked all of that through until the veg was soft and then added in half a cup of tin peas and again left it to cook for a few minutes before serving it up with some red pepper flakes, some sesame seeds and the rest of the green onions. It's actually a really simple and quick meal if you already have the rice cooked. It's just a case of chopping up the veg and cooking those. I'll also take any excuse to eat with chopsticks, but this is a great dinner option as well with vegan spring rolls, some noodles or some stir-fried veg. For an afternoon snack I made these herby pea and broccoli bites. I started by blending up 1 cup of cooked broccoli with 1 tablespoon of chickpea flour, 1 tablespoon of onion flakes, a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of dried herbs, half a cup of peas, and then I seasoned it with salt and black pepper. I blended it enough to mix but not so that it became too mushy, and then I formed these 8 little bites from the mix with my hands. I laid those on a lined baking tray and popped them in the oven for 20 minutes on 180 degrees Celsius and turned them over halfway through. In the meantime I also made a juice to have with it using 1 thumb-sized piece of ginger, 1 cucumber, 1 kiwi, 2 carrots and a green apple. I'll have juice maybe 2 to 3 times a week, but I just couldn't stop thinking about juice this day and I had to make one. I then took the bites out of the oven and I had some with my avocado pesto. The link for this is down below. These are very similar to the cheesy broccoli ball recipe that I did. They're great as a snack in a wrap or in a salad and work so well with so many different dips such as guacamole, my vegan sour cream or hummus. I'd also put loads of ice in my juice and it was just so amazing and refreshing to drink on a really warm day. For dinner I had a stuffed aubergine with some herby potatoes. I started by cutting 1 large peeled potato into cubes. Then I popped those on a lined baking tray, drizzled over 1 teaspoon of olive oil, added on 2 teaspoons of dried herbs and seasoned them with salt and black pepper. I then placed those in the oven on 180 degrees Celsius whilst I prepped my tomato sauce. So for this I diced up 1 white onion and cooked that off in a pan with some hot water. Then minced in 2 cloves of garlic. Yes, I do love onion and garlic, and I cooked that off. I then took 1 aubergine and cut it in half, then scored the flesh and scooped that out with a spoon. I added the aubergine cubes to the pan, fried those off, and then added in 1 tablespoon of tomato puree, a tin of chopped tomatoes, a large handful of sun-dried tomatoes which I'd sliced, a small handful of sliced black olives, and a small handful of torn fresh basil leaves. I seasoned it with salt and black pepper, gave it a stir, and allowed that to cook for a few minutes. I then gave my potatoes a bit of a shuffle and then placed the aubergine skins in a dish and added on half of the tomato mix. I then froze the other half and I placed those in the oven for around 15 minutes to cook. And this is just my way of doing it and how I've always made this dish. And so after 15 minutes I took them out of the oven, served them up on a plate with the potatoes on the side and with some fresh basil on top. And it's such a delicious meal. I find it's a really good way to use up veg that you've got in your fridge. You could also add in some spinach, some beans or chickpeas, and instead of the potatoes you could serve it with a mixed salad for a lighter option. For dessert I just made a vanilla milkshake. I first blended up a cup of oat milk in my food processor with 1 frozen chopped banana, 1 teaspoon of maca powder and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I served it up with loads of ice and it's so good. Obviously more like a banana vanilla milkshake with the banana added in, but if you really don't like banana you could always add in a few scoops of vegan vanilla ice cream instead. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Have a lovely weekend and I will see you back here on Monday for another Vegan June video. Bye!